Welcome back to Straight Facts on Tuesday. Dan Potts is here with me. LB was here, but just like Man City at the weekend.
Hang on a minute. Whoa.
Here he is.
30 seconds into the stream. Let's not start the cooking so soon, yeah? Come on.
I thought I'd get one digging because I'm going to get a beat down today. I'm getting a beat down. But LB is here with us. Potsy as well. How are you, gentlemen?
Yeah, good, man.
All
really
right.
good.
Better than you, mate. Better than you.
Much better.
I think everybody's better than me. Everybody is better than a Man United fan right now. There's no doubt about it. And I want to thank, by the way, Jacob as well. This is another one of the T-shirts he made for me and sent me, but I thought I'll wear it. So it doesn't officially come through. I like the little Football Terrace logo on the bottom as well. He said he's going to design one for all the clubs in the top 6. I said, fair enough. But I have told him, get rid of the shiny shirts. I put it on something a bit more matte because it's a bit... Thank you. Free. Thank you. I said I'd wear it, and a little bit higher on the design, but thank you very much, my friend, for sending that through. Loads to talk about today, boys. Loads to talk about today.
Hands up if you got 3 points at the weekend. Oh.
Hands up if you won a European trophy.
Dear me, it's not good. It's not good, is it? It's not good. No, it's about the now. It's about the now. Don't forget about that. Forget about
that. Hands up if we're happy not to be ginger. I'm only joking, man. I'm only joking.
Only this.
Only that bit. What's the top then? Was that strawberry blonde on top? Or?
I don't know. What's it called here, really? Bran.
Auburn.
This is definitely bit ginge, but
yeah.
That's for sure.
My brother's got like jet black hair. He's bald now, but he jet black hair. But if he grew his beard more than like 2 or 3 days, it was like bright ginger.
Yeah, man, that's me.
Proper.
That's basically it started like this, and then it got getting really ginger.
Like Emery the Eighth.
Yeah, it's like Ed Sheeran, mate. Ed Sheeran. Viewers, make sure like buttons have been hit. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace. But look, I want to start with Manchester United today because more player leaks are coming out now that the players are unhappy with, the style of play at the club. The players expect the manager to be sacked soon. Many are actually shocked that he was even here throughout the course of the summer. It is a mess right now on the field of play. There is no doubt about it. There's no defending it, in my opinion, either. Does the writing appear to be on the wall for you two?
Yeah, 100%. I think INEOS know what they're doing with these two games. I mean, you got Porto away and Villa away. I think you're away at Villa. So I genuinely don't think you're going to win any of those games. And I think that would then allow INEOS to sack the manager with pretty much no United fan really moaning about it, because at the moment I'm still hearing some United fans want to give him a bit more time, that they think he can turn it around. Why they think that, I don't know. Personally, I think that's delusional. I really do. I think the guy's a fraud. But I think if he doesn't win his next 2 football matches, I think INEOS are probably thinking that probably gets 95% of the United fan base on their side to sack him. They can sack him in the international break. They've got an international break to work with, get a new manager in or give it Ruud or whatever they're going to do and go from there. If they sack him now, 2 weeks before the international break, I just feel like there's still some United fans out there that are not quite ready for this. So, yeah, I think they pretty much know that they'd be unlikely to win the next 2 matches, and that just gives them more power, because when you're sacking a manager, you kind of need your manager, you need your fans on side. Like, that's why, obviously at the Arsenal, when they sacked Wenger, there was still a lot of the Arsenal fans at the time that wanted him to stay. That didn't help Emery when he's come in, because then everyone that wanted Arsene Wenger to stay probably didn't really want Emery, because they was just, it becomes a sort of like a fan duel. Yeah. So you need as many fans on your side when you sack the manager. So that's what I think. I think the guy is just got everything that he's possibly could do. I think he's got everything wrong. His signings are wrong. His style of play, he didn't implement one. I think in the short term, in the first season and the second season, he chased results over style of play implementation, which I think is a massive L. Player recruitment, player manager relationships, falling out with Sancho, falling out with Ronaldo, bringing in Onana, who's for me is a suspect goalkeeper. I just think he's got everything wrong. I think he's got literally everything he's done. I think he's got wrong. Yes, he's won 2 trophies. GG's on that. But I think in terms of like the actual managing of the team, everything's wrong. I think, you've gone backwards again this year for me. Even the games that you won, Fulham, you weren't good against Fulham. Southampton, they bopped you off the park for 35 minutes and would have been beating you if they had a decent striker. It's just horrendous, and it's got so toxic now in your fan base, and this needs to end. And the only way it's going to end is when the manager gets sacked. I think as well, before obviously Potsy comes in, that you guys as a fan base need to have serious, hard, difficult conversations about some of your players. Yeah, because Rashford's not good enough. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes ain't good enough. I'm very skeptical on Højlund, very skeptical on Xerxes. Don't think Garnacho's good enough. Mason Mount, why is he there? And why is he why is he smiling on Instagram after you've just been beat 3-0? Ugarte, it's early days, don't know what he's meant to be doing. So I think your whole club just needs a complete and utter reset. And well done, Ten Hag, because he's done exactly what every City fan wanted, which is destroyed a football club. Because I genuinely think it's going to take you years to get back. We've spoke about before, Terry, 2 to 3 years. I think now we're looking at 4 or 5. I genuinely do. It's that bad.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with a lot of what LB says, if I'm honest with you. I've never been a fan of Ten Hag because I've not really seen any style of play, and I'm still not seeing what Man United are about in terms of a style in 3 years. And I understand people will say that we're trying to counter-attack and we're trying to do this, but he's trying and failing at most that he's doing. And at the weekend, I've got to say, I thought that was one of the most miserable performances in the whole of his reign. I thought it was so bad. It was actually scary how bad that he was. And I think people have said he's done a bad job. I think sometimes we've underestimated how bad that he has done, because it has been a shambles. And I think sometimes the trophies have papered over the cracks because, look, football's about winning trophies. I would never, ever, ever say that it ain't about winning trophies, because it absolutely is. But it's about winning trophies and being competitive at the same time. And it's just proven to me that you need to be both. Because a lot of people have said to me that Mikel Arteta needs to win something this year, but I know that we're going to challenge if we don't. And there's a lot of people that have said, yeah, but trophies matter. Absolutely, they do. And you've got to be successful with the team you've built, right, to have a successful period of time. But my goodness, Ten Hag's league is so bad with 14 L's, and it looks like he's going to replicate that if he stays. I think you need to get rid of him now. I can't believe you're giving him Porto and Villa, but at the same time, potentially they're giving him Porto and Villa because they potentially know they're not going to get those games won, and then he can go. I don't know what you do replacement-wise. I mean, Ruud van Nistelrooy is there, and a lot of people are suggesting that he would take over until somebody becomes available that you want. Southgate rumours, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it would be stupid if that happens. It'd be funny if it did, but I can't see it. And I just don't understand why the fan base was so for Ten Hag at the start of this season. When I suggested that Chelsea might need to go and get Hansi Flick, or Manchester United might need to go and get Hansi Flick, everybody said, no, you want Maresca and Ten Hag. And I was shocked by that, particularly in what Hansi Flick's done in the last few weeks. But you just know he was going to do well. He's a successful manager. He's got a CV that says, I do well. And I look at what Manchester United need, and it is somebody like that to come in, rip it up, and go, right, I can't get rid of these 12, 15 players. Some of them actually are pretty good. I mean, LB has gone through a list there that I agree with, but some of them do have something about them. But you're going to have to add a lot more quality, man. And you're going to have to, in my opinion, start to look at...
So you were their best players, bro?
Who
were their best players? Well, you said they've got some good players.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle. I think Kobe Mainoo is a good player. I actually thought he was really bad at the weekend, but I do think Diogo Dalot is a good fullback.
He's not been good for some time, Mainoo. United fans might know what the way. I said this last year. I said United will ruin this guy. Yeah, they're going to ruin him because they're putting so much pressure on him. Yeah, they're putting so much. They're just sticking him in the middle of the park.
But of course, we're going to ruin him. Sorry to interject. Of course, we're going to ruin him. Every single player in the last 11 years that we have signed or promoted has not fulfilled their potential, which is why when you are spot on, LB, when you say Man United fans need to have a big conversation about the players. But I'm at a point where I can't help but defend them. We can't even do the basics right. Brendan Johnson and Timo Werner are not highly gifted technical footballers, but they do the basics right because the basics are well drilled by Big Ange Postecoglou. You watch most teams play and the basics are better than Man United. We can't get the basics right. He empties our midfield, which exposes Mainoo. That's why he pulled his hamstring at the weekend. God knows how long he's going to be out for. But I'm kind of glad he's going to be out for the next 2 games. I don't want this young man exposed to it. I'm glad that the likes of Harry Hamas...
Because you say, oh, these youngsters, we go and we ruin them. But that isn't a Ten Hag thing. That's a Manchester United thing. So why is that? Like, what is happening? That's because
the culture has been wrong at the club for a long time. Now, I believe that INEOS are in the process of fixing it. But anyone that thought a decent summer in the transfer window and appointing some people at board level would fix us like this was deluded. It was always going to take time to get those bad habits out of the dressing room. It's learned behavior. I gave the example yesterday on the top 6. I'll get really quickly again, just for. Have you ever heard about the monkeys, the water, and the stairs?
No.
So essentially, they did an experiment years ago where they put 10 monkeys in a big enclosure. Every time they went up a certain flight of stairs in their enclosure, they were all squirted with water. What then happened is anytime a monkey went near those stairs, they would drag it off, give it a little beating, and say, don't go near the stairs. Then once a week or once every month, they would take one monkey out and put a new monkey in that had never been squirted with water. Every time that new monkey went near those stairs, the rest of them would jump, pull him off, say, don't go near it. And they'd know, God, something bad happens. Eventually, there was no monkey ever left in the enclosure that had ever been squirted with water, but they still wouldn't let each other walk up and down those stairs. Learn behavior. This works with human beings. We all do it. There are certain traditions that you have in your life that we do that are 1,000 years old. You don't remember the origination of it, but you do it. Now, we all put Christmas trees in our house. None of us really know the reason why we fucking do it. It's not actually religious, but we put Christmas trees in our house. It's the same difference. We have had bad behaviors for such a long time that we have got to cut the rot out. And I said it in May. I hate being right about this, but we were never going to be able to clear out the squad in one summer. We're still going to have player problems no matter how good the new manager is or isn't. Until we completely clear the squad out, because there's going to be hangover from before. But I feel the manager's been tarnished by the problems at the club as well, and he needed to go. And that is a mistake from INEOS. Now, I like what you've said, LB, and I hope what you've said is the truth. All along, I felt, why did they keep him? The reports today from the Muppeteers is that the likes of Tuchel and a few others said no to us in the summer, as opposed to us walking away, which in some respects might make a bit more sense if better targets said no and they stuck with him. I also believe you're on the road to something truthful there, LB, in the sense of, I think there's a percentage of the dressing room as well that wanted Ten Hag to be given a chance with a better structure, with proper footballing support, and the likes of Ashworth and co around him. And they all spoke about it all summer. Oh, it's better now. It's calmer. We're excited about what this manager is going to bring. And there were some green shoots of improvement in terms of shape and everything, but it's already dissipated. I think you're right. I think fans and players by the end of this week, once we play the next two games, I think they'll all be at a point where they'll go, he ain't the right guy. We like him, but he ain't the right guy. It makes it a lot easier for the new manager to come in because there isn't that animosity. There isn't that shadow. As you've said, look at Arsenal. Half the reason that certain Arsenal fans don't like Arteta to this day is because they love Unai Emery. Not all of them. Some don't like him independently. All of our fan bases, you don't know what it's like, LB, in this era, but every single fan base that's been struggling, and you see the Chelsea fan base go through it. Someone that likes Poch, they sack him, they instantly have a dislike to the new manager. So I think what you're saying, hopefully what you're saying is right. And this is me hoping rather than knowing that their plan of action to allow giving him enough rope to hang himself so that there is no hangover. We know it's the right time for him to go. But you are also right on top of it. Look, like everything else, there do need to be big conversations about these players, but we can't get rid. We got rid of a lot of our crap in the summer. We couldn't get rid of all of them. It's going to take time. Go on.
Can we do that now then, right? Because you just spoken, right, about the bad behaviors, right? So if that's me, if we're the board, right, and we're speaking about we know that we need to sort this behavior situation out. Yeah, for me, you go for the top of the tree. You got to get the ones that are on the big money, the ones with the biggest influence. I think Rashford is a major problem. I think it's a major problem. Now, listen, on his day, he's a brilliant player. Of course he is, but he's a brilliant player on his day, right? But how often is he on his actual game? I think you need to get rid of him. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes. I just think it's too toxic now. There's too many United fans that don't like him anymore. I think he's, I personally don't rate him. Yeah, I think you need to get rid of him. For me, they're the two main ones that I think United need to get rid of. Get rid of them, start afresh. Yeah, stop the rot and get some fresh players in there. Now, there's probably other players as well, right, but for me, I think you've got to get the two main ones. And I think Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford are the two main ones in that team.
They were the two that I spoke about at the end of last season that I said, I don't care which way people want to word it. Some will say good riddance. I look at it, some will look at it like me more as sacrificial lambs. I don't blame those two for how things are right now. Because if Pogba was ruined by the club and Martial was ruined by the club, and if we're saying that Kobbie Mainoo is going to be ruined by the club if things don't change, it stands to look at Bruno. If people just go back for a moment, drop your opinion on him as a person and the hand throwing and moaning, go watch his first 18 months, 2 years at the club. Yeah, he was an exponentially wrong. He was a significantly better player than he is now. He is exponentially, in terms of his outputs, got worse over time. But that's like everyone that comes to Man United. Very few start well. Go and look at, there are some things about Onana. Look at Onana at Inter Milan compared to him at Manchester United. I saw De Ligt being ripped into last night on Monday Night Football, and he was late in the press. Every centre-back we've had, including ones with speed like Varane, have been late in the press in the last 3 or 4 years because we ain't coached well enough. So, but I do get you. I think there is a stench on Bruno and Rashford that, whether it's their fault or not, is almost an irrelevant debate. It's there. And I think they have to be moved on. They are so synonymous with the frustrations at the club, where most other players, there is still an element of, I'll give you a chance and an opportunity. And when it comes to all the new players, I'm not convinced about any of them, but equally, I'm not throwing any of them under the bus. When we don't press right and we don't sit and absorb correctly, when we don't have the right shape, I can't be blaming players. Against Palace, we got it right until the substitutions, and everyone looked mint. Everybody looked real. I'm talking like you now. Everybody looked good. Everybody looked top. We just didn't finish our chances. The next 2 games, the manager empties the midfield. We don't know whether to press or absorb at times. We're caught out of position. And everyone's going, we bought loads of duds again. I'm not protecting my recruitment team. We can't keep buying this consistency of duds over 11 years. Mm-hmm. There has to be a coaching issue. And it's one of the biggest, it's the only real mistake I think INEOS have made so far, is they should have moved on from him in the summer. But Bruno and Rashford, I think they should be on the chopping block. I absolutely agree. And I'll be honest with you, there's only a handful of players at the club. Mainu is one of them. Lenny Yoro hasn't kicked the ball, so he's another, that I look at and I think to myself, none of you should be safe over the next 2 to 3 major transfer windows. We should be looking to, but that's where Man United fans got to be patient, boys, because I think I think a competent head coach can make us play better football. Anybody that's laboring under the illusion that will become Man City or Arsenal or get to Liverpool's level because of a change of manager, I'm sorry to say it to you, my fellow United fans, but you're being stupid. I don't know how to say it any more politely. You're being stupid. We will have some peaks. There'll still be troughs until this squad is fixed. But until you have structure at board level, until you have a good, solid structure on the football pitch and you're playing in a system that we understand and that looks solid, I can't even focus on individuals that need to improve. I personally can't do it because I feel like everyone looks crap. So why am I singing? Like, everyone went in, look how everyone turned on Casemiro. Everyone, the whole world, media, I was too old when we bought him. You guys come in, he's more mobile, he'll do better. Looks the same. Scott McTominay's pissed off to Italy. He's balling out on top of the fucking league and doing brilliant. It's something, when you have no structure on the field of play, I can't single out players, techie or not technical. There's a reason Sancho looks good at Chelsea, because Maresca's come in and given them a really solid base to play from. They still need to improve in certain positions. Players still need to mature. So, look, I agree with moving certain players on. I do. I think no one should be sort of free from criticism.
Do you not think the manager can do better with this squad of players, though? Like,
much better, much better. Yeah,
because I don't think they're nowhere near a title or nowhere near a.
I think it's a top. I think this squad can make top 4. I think with the competent manager who makes us hard to break down and beat, we have got the talent to make it into the top, potentially make it into the top 4 or challenge for it. Other teams are really good at the moment. You know, Chelsea are looking up there, but we have the ability to be in and around that. We were outplayed, boys, by FC20. If we're honest now, if your squad was empty and you had to choose and you could only pick players from FC20 or Man United squad, you're picking the majority of our players, but 100%. They look better than us on the ball. They look harder to break down. They scored the same goal against us Tottenham did. Van der Ven deserves all that credit. All that credit. But FC20 ran through us. Honestly, I'm getting out. I haven't been that animated about it since Sunday, but the more I think about it, it's because I've been ignoring
what
it.
What I'm getting at is, like, I understand it's doom and gloom, and it proper is for Ten Hag, but I do think this is a Ten Hag thing because we've been told this structure is good, it's refreshed, it's new. City have lauded this Barada guy. Obviously, we know what Dan Ashworth's about. We know what Jason Wilcox is about. So for me, when you look at what we've seen from them in the past, they're all now together. They're footballing men. Their decisions, I will say, in the first few weeks of the season have not been great in terms of keeping him. But once they actually do get rid and they start to spend the money that has been spent before and they start to actually look at it in a different way, with the right manager, I do think Manchester United might not be 5 or 6 years away from fighting for a title. They might be sooner than that, but they do need to get rid of this guy, man. I don't know why he's still there. It actually makes me chuckle. I mean, I hope he stays.
Well, the thing is, though, Dan, yeah, they've literally that whether you think it's 2 to 3, whether you think it's 4 to 5, it's irrelevant, right? Here's the thing, yeah, they've delayed it, whatever it was, they've delayed it by a year.
By another
because
year.
now
Yeah,
this season that we're currently in for United, it's dead. It's done. They're going to sack the manager. We all know he's going to get sacked at some point. It's over. If they would have sacked him after the FA Cup final, yeah, this year could have been a building block. It could have been year 1. It could have been phase 1. But now it's literally, this year is now just dusted.
But I disagree that the year's dusted. I think everything this season is salvageable, barring winning the league, which we weren't going to do anyway.
My point is, Terry, yeah, this season now is a period of next year is going to be the proper phase 1 because the new manager's going to come in. He's going to want a transfer window. He's going to want to get his players out, and he's not going to take any responsibility for what happens this year. He's going to want next year. I don't know though.
I don't know. Not if what again depends. You're right. If what we've been told all summer isn't true, I believe we're going to be picking managers in the same way that Liverpool have done, in the same way that you will do when Pep Guardiola leaves, which is this is the reason why Tuchel turned the job down in the summer, because according to the Muppeteers, who are very credible when it comes to Man United, he wanted more control over squad building, and the club are saying, no, we are building it. I like that because you can't allow every manager that comes in to want to have, they'll have a say. And what they've been told is, you tell us you want a centre-back, we'll create a short list of 3 or 4 that we believe meet the threshold, and then you get to pick which one you want. Ten Hag agreed to that. The likes of Tuchel said, no, they want more control and want more power. I think it's wrong to give any new manager at our club that kind of control. Having said that, I actually think Man United fans, look, I'd love us to go and get a top manager. I wouldn't mind the Tuchel at this point. I'd love an Inzaghi. Of course, I'd love someone like a Simeone, someone at that level. But Nobbin said this last night, and I think he's onto something. I think we have to readjust where we are as a football club. We are gargantuan in history, massive in name and commerciality, but right now we are tiny on the football pitch. It's only our money that is the reason we're not in a relegation battle. It's only the overarching quality of our players why we're not in a relegation fight. That is it. That's the only reason that we wouldn't go down. I think we have to reset our sights. And you'll get some United fans that will say, no, our owners have said we have to go for best in class. You'll get Standard FC that say we have to go and bring in the best managers possible. Why would they come in right now? I think you think about managers like Thomas Frank, and that's Nobbins' suggestion. That might be actually what we need for the next few years to build a bit of stability, to help cultivate the squad, to get it to a point where it's competent, highly technical, playing nice football. And then maybe it's a Simeone or a Zidane or a Alonso. I'm just throwing out some names now that come in, because there's a lot of, you boys have said, there's so much work that needs to be done. And I think the one step a lot of Man United fans want to ignore, whether they blame the manager or not, is that there is going to still be a lot of ups and downs with a new coach. This idea that we're going to bring in a new, people say, oh, Chelsea, look what Maresca's doing. He's still going to have peaks and troughs this season, but Chelsea's build is going into its 3rd year. Their process, whatever you want to call it, is going into its 3rd season. They haven't deviated from what they've been trying to do. They've just added a new head coach in each time. And that has been very well documented, in my opinion, through reading it. The club has maintained it went in the first summer. They probably spent a lot of money on bigger names and salaries, and they kind of adjusted that 6 months in and went for more youth, sort of caps on salaries, certain profile of players. You now look at Chelsea and it's coming around. And part of that is a new head coach, but it's because they've stayed on that path. Man United are going to go through the same situation. We might hire a couple of managers and it doesn't quite work, but we have to stay true to whatever we're trying to build and not keep starting again from the ground up. But my biggest fear is that Man United fans are not going to have the patience for this, and they're going to look at it as, well, we're Man United, which have the best manager in the world. No, not where we are right now, when in essence, there's at least 7 or 8 teams in England that are better run and in better positions than us. And if you add up the whole of Europe, we're probably not even in the top fucking 20 teams right now in terms of how we play football, the balance of our squad, and the potential for us to become great again. And it's going to take years to fix. And Man United fans are not aware of this or not willing to accept it. You're only ever going to stay angry. And that's my biggest fear, is they're just going to stay angry all the time. and they're never going to be satisfied. And that's also a problem, you know. But equally, I understand being angry when there's no basics. So look, man, it's going to be. Who do you think we should go for, boys? Who should be the next Man United manager in your opinions, gents?
I think who's available right now, because you have to go by who's available. I don't think you're going to go and get a Simeone or an Inzaghi out of Atletico Madrid or Milan. I actually think Thomas Tuchel would probably be the best bet, unless you can get Zidane to come to England, which I don't think he apparently doesn't want to do. So Thomas Tuchel is the one that I think you should go and get. Whether it's true that he's turned them down, I don't know if that's true. But if you're saying that the case, it might be difficult. But I think at the moment, if you're looking at CVs and you're looking at who wins stuff, he's the one that I would go and get.
I think Tuchel would make them. I think you'd stop getting beat 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. I think you'd become a more competitive team. It's just, does he meet? Because I feel like with Omar Barada going in there, right? I feel like they're going to try and get them playing like City, like Arsenal, dominate possession, pass, tiki-taka, right? I don't know if Tuchel's really that guy. He can do it to a certain degree. But I think Tuchel will definitely steady the ship. It's steady the ship, and because basically the thing is now with the manager, it's not even about the manager no more. It's about the problem is I don't want to go with the players again, but it's slightly different conversation. You've got a lot of trash players in that team, and like this is going to take time for the board to get those players out. It's going to take them time to get new players in. Are they going to be able to do it in one season because of FFP? So I think if Tuchel comes in, he can steady the ship for 2 to 3 years, and then maybe if you want to start to like get like a brand of football going, then you can go and get someone else. I think Tuchel's the safe option. It's a safe option.
Yeah. Do you know what you've said there though about the players? I think you're right, and this is where United fans have got to think about this and have conversations. So everybody talks about we need to put a set style of play in, and you play it even if you don't have the right players, even if you make mistakes, and you just sort of persevere. At the same time, people say in the same breath, they go, but Man United's rebuild's got to include winning trophies. They're too big, too great, too rich not to win trophies at the same time. So therefore, maybe what you've got to do is bring in a manager who plays decent football, steadies the ship, can potentially win some trophies along the way until the squad has been built to a point where it is technically ready to have a brand of football that it can step into almost straight away. So you've got to get that, and that's on INEOS, and that is on Barada, that is on Dan Ashworth to get that balance right, because there's always going to be external pressures on Man United that I don't think exist for nearly any other club in England, which is we can't go for look. Chelsea have been criticised in the last couple of seasons by fans and by the media, but they haven't won a trophy in that time. Man United will always be crucified. Whether people like hearing it or not, Hoeneß is right. We're Hollywood FC when it comes to England. We are the most famous club in this country, and that comes with a level of scrutiny that I don't believe anybody else gets.
Yeah.
If we are playing a nice brand of football but not winning, we're criticised. Other clubs can get away with it for a little bit longer than we can. So the club has got to make that decision. By the way, I'm happy with whatever they decide to do, in the sense as long as there is a clear plan and a clear direction, and they're not massively deviating from it every 6 to 18 months.
You just want to see a plan, and whether it's like this up and downs in the road, you get it, you understand that that's part of the plan that's going to happen, but you just want to know that you're going in a direction. Can you pull up this comment in the chat from? If you just scroll up a little bit, Jardel Davis 238, great comment from Jardel there, And I don't necessarily disagree, bro. He says, LB, this ship don't need to be steadied. It needs an entire rebuild, rip it up and build it back from scratch. I don't necessarily disagree with you, Jardel, The point that I have is, if you're going to rip it up, like Terry just said, if you're gonna get rid of all these big players and you're going to get a load of youth in and really start to like try and build it up, and you get like a young manager, you're going to get tanked a couple of times, because that's part of the process. That's why I think someone like a Tuchel needs to come in. Whilst, in the background, you can rebuild it, but you need that authority figure at the top that can just keep it going.
You are right. So again, Jardel, let's say you're right. If we don't need to steady it and we need to entirely rebuild the ship, that means as Man United fans, we can't moan for a few years that we're not out sailing, i.e. winning trophies. You can't take the boat out the water, whatever you call that, when you take a boat out of water. It's probably got a fucking name. I don't know what it's called.
It's called docked.
Docked, or whatever it is. You can't dock the boat, rip it apart, have no boat, and then say, Why aren't we out sailing at the weekend, Daddy? I'm not saying you'll do that, Jardel, but that's what a lot of United fans will do. Well, we ain't winning trophies. You can't do what you're asking for and then expect to be sailing at the same time. What you might be able to do, and again, this is all pie in the sky to a certain degree because we're not at the club. Maybe you've got the holes that can be fixed. But, like a lot of big ships that are out on sea or even submarines, you can still fix things whilst you're out. You can still make repairs whilst you're out and about. And then when things are ready, you can go full steam ahead. And I think we've got to get the balance right. And as I've said, I don't really mind what we do. I'll get behind it as long as it's consistent. I didn't mind. I loved LVG and Jose coming to Man United. But whatever plan of action was put in place in the beginning, 18 months, 2 years later, we ripped it up. Whatever we tried. When Ollie was sacked, they said on our website that Ollie has built a team and a squad and an identity that's ready to win. Essentially, we just need a better manager. They went for Ten Hag, and within 2 weeks, we were getting told, they're going to rip everything up and start it all again. We've done that too many times. We have to stay the course. And there was a comment that said that if Tuchel comes in, there's a problem there because he wants De Ligt out immediately. But that's also a great point. If we have bought De Ligt as part of the club plan, you cannot then go and hire a manager who doesn't like De Ligt, because you're already going to create a conflict. It needs to be someone. And I believe Arne Slot is this guy. I believe that Maresca was this guy this summer that looks at a squad and says, of course, I want 2 or 3 new signings, because everybody does every year. Pep does. Fergie did. But who looks at the squad and goes, I love this squad. I can get your brand of football working with this squad. That's the head coach we have to find. And again, it's not my job to find that person because I can't interview them and ask them. But that is what you need. You need to go and find someone. But look, I don't mind the idea of Tuchel. Again, I'm not adverse to someone like a Thomas Frank being given an opportunity there. There's Sebastian Hoeneß, I think is his name. He's the Stuttgart manager. There's a lot of good words being said around him at the moment. Look, Ruud van Nistelrooy, again, if we've got a real big name that we want, who we know we can get, but we've got to wait until the summer. Ruud van Nistelrooy is at the club as an example to step in potentially. A lot of us have felt that might have been the case. But it's hard for me to pick the manager because I don't quite yet know the entirety of our plan. Does that make, and that's not a cop-out. It's just I don't know what they're looking to do. And the thing is, they're probably not going to tell us. And that's why I'm not willing to throw INEOS under the bus yet, because why would they publicly tell their rivals what their plan is? You wouldn't, right? Nobody would. None of you are going to see. You both got sort of business plans or career plan ideas. Certain things you're not going to say online, are you? You're not going to tell everybody what your plans are, what you're going to do, because it's private in that way. You don't want to give other people the ideas, whatever it may be. But yeah, look, I'm just gutted with how it is. I think he's done. I think he'll be gone by the end of the week. International break will be interesting, but I do hope you're right, LB. That they're doing this so they can almost essentially kill off any last fight from anybody to keep Ten Hag, and it makes it a cleaner transition. That would make sense. That's the only logical reason that anybody said, to be honest, LB, as to why he's still here, to be honest with you. I've not heard anything else that makes sense. A super chat here says...
just quickly,
Thomas,
just before you move on,
bro.
Yeah, just on the fixtures, one last thing, yeah? If you sack the manager now, you're bringing in a new manager against Porto away, Aston Villa away. Grim. You could get a new manager, you could get Pep Guardiola, and he could still lose those games. Tough games. Yeah, if you sack him after Aston Villa, yeah, you got Brentford at home, Fenerbahce away, which is tough, West Ham, Leicester. Now, still some toughness in there, but it's a lot easier.
Yeah, you're right. That Brentford at home game, if the manager is sacked, and I don't know who we bring in, let's just say it's Ruud van Nistelrooy. Keep it very clean. Ruud van Nistelrooy. The crowd and the noise on the 19th of August at home against Brentford is going to be amazing for him, because you're going to get that. You will get that sense of excitement. If it's a new permanent manager by then, again, I think it will be even an even bigger kind of sort of fanfare, and that type of thing can help you. So I do agree with that, and hopefully it's right. Harold here with the super chat says Thomas Tuchel is horrible for us. PSG, Bayern, chaos. Chelsea, luckiest Champions League after Liverpool in 05. Shit football, conflicts, stubborn blame games into the Hornets hive. No, is what Harold says here. Does not want Thomas Tuchel whatsoever.
Well, I don't think Thomas Tuchel is going to be the Man United manager, so I think he's going to get his wish. But that's somebody out of the list of available names that I would look at and go, do you know what? He knows what he's doing. The others are a massive risk, in my opinion.
I hear that. Not saying Chelsea are back, but Terry, you spent the whole summer riling up LB, Potts, Sam and Mo to bash Chelsea, praising everything United did, and now look wonderful. But the thing is, though, DJ, I'll ask people their opinions. But what did I say about Chelsea this summer? I liked all their signings, barring João Felix, but that one turned out to be right. I said that I thought there was a massive possibility that Maresca would be a huge success. I said that you would improve on last season. But me asking other people their opinions is not me riling people up. These are grown men with their own brains and their own thought processes that give their own opinions. I do genuinely mean this, DJ. You're a long-time viewer. You're a long-time super chatter, so I respect you. But asking hosts of YouTube channels to not ask questions because you might not like the answers that come out, I'm not going to lie, bruv. That is one of the pansiest things I've ever heard in my life. Just going to put that out there, bro. I've got respect for you, but there's no alpha still in that one, my friend. Hit the like button, people. Thank you, Luke Skywalker. Amy here. Thank you, Amy White. She says, nah, I feel sorry for Man United's players. Ten Hag is moving like he's just left secondary school PE teaching and has zero clue. No, it is awful. I agree. Potts, pure respect for your talk on ref corruption.
I'll pick up, bro.
Oh, we might get onto that in a bit. Ten Hag took over United 3 months before Emery took over Villa when they were 18th. Villa are playing Bayern Munich this week, whilst we are 12th. There we go. I mean, I know he's just signed a new deal, but Unai Emery wouldn't be someone I wouldn't mind just looking at as well. But there's the big club conversation there too. If United poached Emery, would he jump? He would jump ship. Yeah, look, I still think you could take managers like that, and that's no disrespect to Aston Villa. But I think he'd have to be convinced about the way we play and the way we jump at it. I know he's doing very, very well with Villa right now, but I still think Unai Emery, maybe underneath everything, has a little bit of, I want to show Arsenal. I think that might be there still. And no, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't, listen, there's storylines in there. It's one of the reasons why I want Xabi Alonso is the storyline. Once upon a time, Man United hired a very, very, very good ex-Liverpool player. And he didn't just change. I mean, if it wasn't for Sir Matt Busby, likely it is none of you would have European trophies. Sorry, Potsy, you don't have any, but it is unlikely that anyone would have European trophies because he paved the way for that. Sir Matt Busby brought boxes into stadiums and new revenues and a style of football that had never been seen in England before. He was an ex-Liverpool player who ended up becoming a great at my club. I kind of want Alonso to follow. There's something, they say history repeats itself. I'd love Alonso and for him to be successful, but yeah, we'll see. Moving on from Man United swiftly, because I'm glad I want to get past it. I
did try and drag that out for as long as possible.
I know you did, bruv. Honestly, but it has to be done.
Like, every time you was bringing it to a close, I was just like, just one second, sorry. These players, this manager.
Enjoying it, mate. Enjoying it.
No, you got to do it. You got to do it. Because when you're in League Two, I'm going to speak about Wigan all day, all show. We're talking about Wigan and Plymouth and everybody else. So your day's coming, mate. Your day's coming. I don't think that'll happen, by the way, about what happens. Before we get on to Arsenal and City and tonight, are Chelsea back, boys? Are Chelsea back?
I think Chelsea are back, but they're back to the late 90s when they were coming fourths and fifths and sixes. That's where they're back. I don't really understand what back means. Back winning Champions Leagues and leagues, not for me. I mean, look, 96, 97, Vialli and Zola days, they were coming sixth. Then they went fourth, third, fifth, sixth, fourth. So, yeah, they're back to there. That's for sure. They're back for fighting for the top four, in my opinion. I still think they may struggle without a striker and a goalkeeper because I think that Sanchez is an absolute donkey. We saw again at the weekend why he is so inconsistent. I thought he was good against Bournemouth, but terrible against Brighton. And look, maybe they don't need a number 9 if Cole Palmer's going to do that every game because he was elite. The guy is an absolute baller, man. He's such a good player. He really is. So Chelsea will be up there fighting for top 4, in my opinion, this season. Whether they'll get it ahead of Liverpool and Villa, I don't know. Whether they'll go fight for third, fourth with them. At the moment, that's the 5 that I have, if I'm honest with you. Chelsea, Villa, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City are the 5 I've got in front of me that I think will probably be in that conversation. So, yeah, Chelsea are back fighting for top 4, but that's not where they want to be, surely. I mean, a lot of the fan base is suggesting that they're in a title race this season, and I appreciate that it's very early and that a lot can happen. I just don't see that happening, personally. I don't think they're going to be in a title race with Manchester City, Arsenal, and at the moment, Liverpool. So that's just not a conversation that I'm willing to be having this early. But look, if they get to a stage where by February, March time, they're up there and they're touching distance with City and Arsenal, maybe we can talk about that. But until they do that, I'm not going to go down that conversation. Chelsea have surprised me. Chelsea have been good this season. I think Maresca has probably surprised me more than anything because I really thought it was a tough job for him. You look back now at the players that he was saying, I don't want him, I don't want him. You can see that he's actually working with the squad that he's got. And yes, the players they brought in have actually done well. But when you look at it, even the signings this season, other than Sancho and maybe Neto, they've not been their key players for them. A lot of them are still in the bench. You know, you look at Dewsbury Hall, he's been on the bench. Tosin, he's been on the bench. So actually, he's built pretty much this season with the squad that Poch had. So look, it's going to be a hard thing for me to say Chelsea are back, because when I say Chelsea are back, it means they're winning titles and winning Champions Leagues, right? So look, I personally believe that there's a chance for them to get top four. I think LB said it as well, that he thinks they'll get or have a chance to get in top four. But I do believe that they're a striker and a goalkeeper away from cementing that. So we'll have to see where we're at with Chelsea. I mean, if they've got Cole Palmer playing like that, anything's possible. They are so good, man. So good.
Yeah, I think, that I still think that they'll regret not signing a striker. I do. I do. And a goalkeeper, a proper class goalkeeper. That's what I said. I think they're going to be in there. They're in there. Can they finish fourth? Yeah, they could. But I still think that if they would have signed a striker, they would have signed a goalkeeper. I think they would have had it nailed on. They would have had it nailed on. That's the point I always come back to with Chelsea, is that I just think that they let themselves down a little bit, and maybe they can still get fourth. They're not a million miles away. They're obviously playing pretty well at the moment, but I just think over the course of 38 games, I just think they regret not getting a new goalkeeper and a new striker. But they're cooking right now. They're cooking. They are. They're doing well. And this guy has implemented a style of play within 6 games. So you have to give him credit. Huge credit.
Yeah, it's just this is why I was saying to someone the other day, a few weeks ago, about Ten Hag, that I believe that Man United have put a structure in place now where the board are running the club, the board is essentially signing the players. That the manager can go, I want him and him, but they're off a list that the board's creating, so it's the same difference. So it's easier to sack managers, because if the head coach isn't working, you look at Bayern Munich. They've operated this way for as long as I can remember. It didn't work last year with Thomas Tuchel. They bring in Vincent Kompany, and they're looking better. Vincent Kompany hasn't restructured the fucking football club. He's just gone in and implemented his training methods and his drills, and he's getting better out of the players. You look at Hansi Flick at Barcelona. Barcelona didn't have a rebuild in the summer. In fact, they've got a lot of injury problems and got a lot of kids playing right now. But it looks so far he's doing a better job coaching-wise. And when you have a structure in place, and Barcelona, by the way, went through madness, but people go and research what Jordi Cruyff, big up Jordi Cruyff, United legend, has been doing behind the scenes in the last couple of years. They've been rebuilding their infrastructure. You can just move and change coaches, and you can improve very quickly if the technical floor of your squad is good. And the one thing with Chelsea is they did sign a lot, and they have got a lot of technically proficient football players. They still need more. I still think they need, you could argue, some better players at the back in terms of playing out, including the goalkeeper, and their players to mature. I think they look really good right now. Who I wanted to ask you about, LB, is how gutted are you that Cole Palmer is not a Man City player? Because I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I think on form, he's the best player in the world right now, and no one in the Premier League and in the midfield attacking position, I think he's anywhere near his current levels. He is just, I can't believe how good he is.
No, I don't think he's the best player in the world right now, but he's very good. I didn't want to sell him at the time. Said we shouldn't have sold him. You know what I mean? I didn't think selling him for 40 million was the right move. I understood why they sold him, but on my stream that I did at the time, I said, don't sell him. This is a mistake. I seen this guy. I watch academy football. I watch academy football for City, yeah? And I've seen this guy develop from 15, 16 years old all the way up the academy, and I knew this guy was a slammer. I knew he was a slammer, and he just needed to play in his right position. Unfortunately, we couldn't play him in the right position. I actually have a bit of insight into what actually happened on that deal, because I have a pretty good source when it comes to Palmer. He was told that when Mahrez left, he would be the next right winger at Manchester City. That's what he was told, yeah? Mahrez left, and then we signed Jeremy Doku. Now, everyone goes, yeah, but Jeremy Doku's a left winger. Jeremy Doku played predominantly on the right-hand side for Stade Rennes. So obviously he's seen that happen, yeah, and he's gone, what, hang on a minute. I thought I was meant to be the next right winger. You just signed the right winger. Let me leave on loan. I want to go play some football. City didn't want to loan him. They said, you're either being sold or you're staying. And then he went, right, we'll sell me then. Chelsea come in with a 40 mil. Oh, I'll see you later. I said it was the wrong move. I said we should have kept him. We need someone like him at the moment in our team. Yeah, but it is what it is. Listen, at the end of the day, maybe they just get a little bit of revenge. We got De Bruyne in it. They thought De Bruyne wasn't good enough. Turned out to be one of the greatest players the Premier League's ever seen. So listen, I have to take a little bit of a Nell on this one. I will do. You know what I mean?
Love that.
But it is, I think as well for us, it's been highlighted more because Oscar Bob, who's basically the next one, that's because we remember City have got a conveyor belt of players coming through. Oscar Bob's the next one. He looks absolutely brilliant. He's got a broken leg. Would City fans be feeling so annoyed, frustrated if Oscar Bob wasn't injured? No, because he started the season really good until he got his broken leg. So it is what it is. Now GG's to Chelsea. From great scouting, 40 million. A lot of people said it was too expensive. I knew it was going to be decent signing for him because I knew how good he was. And I hope he does well, man. I hope he does well. So, yeah, fair play.
Yeah, he's flying right now. Again, when I saw the numbers on Saturday, because sometimes you're not focused on a player's numbers as much. And after the hat trick of 4 goals, turns out more goals and assists since game week 1 in the Premier League last season than Haaland, which is crazy because Haaland's numbers are on a sort of an alien level, and he's just it's the volume of goals, but it's the variety of goals, and they're an improving team altogether. I wouldn't call them Cole Palmer FC because other players, Caicedo, I think, has been amazing in the midfield this season. I think he's starting to look more and more like that £100 million player that he went for. But I think when you've got a player of Palmer's level in your team, anything is possible. In terms of you can win any game, you theoretically can win anything. The league's a little harder because of consistency that's needed, but anything is possible when you have a player like this. He's a bit of an anomaly as well. I mean, we know how good Saka is, but you look at the additional goals and assists this guy has on top. It's I think it's in the last year and a bit, something like between 15 and 20 additional goals and assists from this guy.
I've said this many times on multiple streams that I think Palmer is a better footballer than Saka. I think he is. Now people say don't play the same position. Well, that's because Chelsea have moved him into midfield. He could play right wing and is an extremely good talent. And, going to England, because we've got all these mint players. Yeah, you got Foden, Palmer, Saka. I think Bellingham's probably the most overrated player out of the 4 of them, if I'm being deadly serious with you. Yeah. And then obviously you got some of us flirting around as well. Like, we've got a good team, man, and we need a manager that can fit these guys into the England side because these are good footballers, man. These are good footballers.
Potsy, let me ask you a question. I asked this last night. I'd love to get your take on this. You can get the deal done. We're gonna magic wand it. Would you swap Cole Palmer for Martin Odegaard?
That's a really good take, man. I thought you were going to say Saka. You threw me there. I was getting ready for the Saka one.
It's why I'm good. It's why I'm good at this job. It's why I'm good at this job.
Yeah.
Why I'm good at this job.
That's how we get. That's how we get away. Everyone's better than Saka, isn't he? So I got used to that one. The reason I would say yes is because the numbers are scary in that position, and I love Martin Odegaard. I think he's an absolute unbelievable footballer. But I think Cole Palmer right now in the last 2 seasons is proving why he's going to blow the GA of Martin Odegaard out the water. And I think Odegaard brings a lot more than just GA, but I think Palmer is so good in that position that I'm going to pick Cole Palmer, which is bad because I probably would never have said that 12, 18 months ago. We would have thought, what the hell is he going to Chelsea for? I didn't know enough about him at Man City. All I did was I saw last season, Cole Palmer, the only Man City player to score against Arsenal. That was in the Community Shield. And I thought, that was quite a good performance from him. He went to Chelsea and I thought a bit strange. And Man City replaced him with Doku, who's doing his best impression of Adama Traore and Alan St. Maximin, bless him. So it looks bad move now for Man City. But yeah, I would. I've got to be honest. I would. I think Palmer's ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous player. And yeah, I think LB would probably swap him for Foden as well, if I'm honest.
What a balls. What a bollocks. No, I wouldn't. No, I would not.
Yes, you would.
Nah, fair play to you. Fair play for you for being honest. Yeah. That I mean, and giving us your real take.
And fair play to you for lying.
I've just got better players. I've just got better players than you in it, and I don't need to swap Foden. I'm chilling with my Foden. You know what I mean? Done it at the Bernabeu, top bins. You know what I mean? So I'm chill. I'm calm, man. I'm calm. But I didn't think he was going to say yes to that. So fair play. I would, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd swap Odegaard for. I think Odegaard's a bit overrated, if I'm being honest.
Nah, come on, man. Don't do that. He's a good player, man. Come on.
Whoa! Didn't say he wasn't a good player. I think I said he's a bit overrated.
Oh, okay.
I do think he's overrated.
Overrated how?
Yeah, by who?
Well, by football fans, I think he's overrated. I don't think he.
Yeah, but what have they said that's overrating him? That's
well, people put him on a pedestal. I'm like, I think Saka's more important to your team. If I'm being honest with you,
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Rice is more important to your team. I think David Raya is more important to your team. I just think that, like, I just don't think he's anywhere near as good as people make out. I'd much rather have Saka over him. I'd much rather have Declan Rice over him. I'd much rather have David Raya over him, Saliba over him, maybe even Gabriel over him. I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. I can't really give you a proper explanation as to why. Yeah, it's just
hate.
It just. Yeah, maybe it's hatred. I don't know.
Arsenal hate is real.
No. I just honestly think that there's like more important players in your team than Odegaard, and I don't think. I think there's loads of players that you could swap him with.
Yeah, look, do you know what it is? Like, for years, people said, "Would I swap Bruno Fernandes for anybody?" And when he was putting up, I mean, you got to remember this guy for a midfielder. In one season, scored more goals than any other midfielder in a single season than any other midfielder in English football history across all competitions. When he was delivering numbers like that, I knew there was better technical footballers out there than him, but nobody was bringing me the numbers. And you have to think about the output of a player as well. You know, we know that Haaland isn't the best technical footballer in the world, but there's no point bringing somebody in that has Danny Welbeck's technique, who scores like Danny Welbeck for Haaland, because the goals are more important. Obviously, I'd swap Cole Palmer for Bruno Fernandes now. I'd say yes before they finished answering the question. It'd be done. Cole Palmer would be in a red shirt. But when it comes to Odegaard, I do think he's really good. I do think he's a really good player. But the Palmers are just... And do you know what's really funny I love about these conversations? Is that, you know, when you're normally having these debates and people are saying, oh, not everything's about GA. I would agree to that. GA isn't everything in football. But when it comes to nitpicking between top quality players... GA and trophies are the things that separate these if they play the same position, that is. If they're both playing attacking midfield and tens, then of course it does. And Cole Palmer's putting up numbers from an attacking midfield role that are ungodly. That for a player his age in the Premier League, in a team as well, that last season was doing nothing. And it's the variety of goals, penalties, free kicks, long range, tap-ins, headers. The boy can do all of it. I'm honestly so jealous that Chelsea got him. And if they get 2 or 3 more players now that start following suit, Sancho looks good, Caicedo's looking good, Enzo's putting in performances. Ever since Maresca put Levi Colwill back in centre-back role, you can understand now why the likes of Liverpool and co wanted him, because he's looking good. Chelsea are worrying me a lot at the moment, like genuinely worrying me.
I'm glad they bought Palmer, though. Imagine Palmer at City on top of Haaland and Foden. Just be a nightmare, wouldn't it? So, yeah, look, he's a top talent.
Foden would be on the bench even more. Do you know what I mean? It's just crazy. Why is he on the bench so much at the moment, Foden?
I just think he's had a few personal issues going on in his life, innit? So I think we're sorted now based off of what Pep said last night in his press conference. It seems to suggest that is all right now, but yeah, I think he just had a few personal issues that needed to be sorted out, bro.
Yeah, I saw a few City like aggregator accounts put out. I didn't listen to what was being said, to be fair, so I'm going to ask you, saying that maybe there's a problem between him and Pep.
Nah, that's BS.
Is that BS?
Yeah, it's BS. He just had he's had a lot of stuff going on in his life personally, and yeah, like I said, I think Pep alluded to it yesterday in his press conference, and he said he's basically fine now, isn't it?
Well, his mum hasn't been fighting in nightclubs again this year.
I fucking hope not. Jesus.
That honestly, I will say though as well, because Foden, he's probably a nice lad. I don't know. I'm not going to judge him, but he isn't built like a man that at any level of life would want to fight in a nightclub, because he's quite a slight man. But I remember seeing that video, his mum kicking off, and I just thought, those lads I know he's like, but they'll batter your son. Like, he's so small. It was like, what are you doing? Like, there's a time. I don't know. Maybe if you've got a son who's like 6'3" and built like a brick shit house, maybe you run your mouth a bit. But when your son's about 5 foot, what is he? 5'6", 5'7"? He's pretty short. He's pretty skinny. Like, why are you giving it in what looked like? You know, when you're in those nightclubs in this day and age are like quite neon based. You know, it ain't very nice either. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we've all, yeah, that's crazy. But Oat's all right. Question to you all: Chelsea get between 11 to 12 points out of the next 5 games. Do you think they may be able to push for the league title?
Nah.
No, not for me. Not for the title. I think they're easily Champions League contenders for sure. Absolutely, they are. But nah, I just don't think they got enough, in my opinion, for a title. That's just my opinion. Look, they could put us all in the mud and go on a run, and of course they could. They could. I mean, no one expected Arsenal to go for a title race a couple of years ago, did they? And they surprised everybody. But the way that we started back then was like, wow, clearly if this carries on, they're going to be in a title race. I don't think Chelsea have done that yet, if I'm honest. I don't think Chelsea have impressed me to think, wow, like no one's beaten them. This is crazy. And that's what Arsenal were doing a couple of years ago. So, yeah, it hasn't got to that stage, in my opinion. But I do think they'll be in for a shout, though, for Champions League for sure.
Yeah, agreed.
I'll come to the Arsenal one in a minute. Jude is 2 times the player that bum Foden is.
I disagree, but there we go. I think Jude's well overrated. I'm gonna be real with you. Watched him again, bro. Every time I watch him, bro, I think he's very.
Everyone's overrated. Everyone's overrated to LB.
Yeah. Everyone is overrated. Everyone is overrated. Everyone is overrated. Nah, that's facts. But nah, seriously, man, I think Bellingham's well overrated. I think there's Saka, Foden, Palmer, and who's the other one? Bellingham. Yeah, I'd take Bellingham last. I'll be real with you.
Wow.
Right now, yeah, if I was offered the chance to sign any of them, I'd go Palmer, 10s. Palmer, Foden, Odegaard, Jude. That'd be my order. I think Jude's really good, but
he's a good player. But like, I just think he's overrated. Every time I watch him for Real Madrid, bro, I don't know what he does. He just doesn't do anything. Saka at least gets G&A. Yeah, Foden gets G&A. Like Palmer's just I just don't understand what he really does.
Well, he was scoring last year, but ever since Mbappe is taking up the central roles, he ain't getting the goals. I know he's been injured as well, but he's not scoring like he was last year, which was what was so amazing. I think Jude needs to be in a team where he's almost sort of attacking wise, he's like the main sort of guy, barring the wide players, but in terms of putting the output in there. DJ's back again. He says, Pansy, lol, you are very intelligent and good at what you do when you have a smirk on your face, a ridiculing tone for all matters regarding Chelsea. You are riling them up. But that isn't what I do, my friend. And when I said Pansy, I'm saying you've been a bit, yes, Pansy, you've been a bit weak, right? Like I say, I ask questions and I ask the questions. And if you think I'm asking them in a ridiculing way, then I'll take your feedback on board. But you know, I will praise a team when they're doing good. If I think they're doing something well, I'll praise good results. I'll praise teams that progress. And I've been very, very complimentary about Chelsea, but I can't expect my panelists to not speak their minds. I want them here to speak their minds. Now, straight facts is called straight facts because it is a little bit of a dig at people that call opinions straight facts. It's literally why we called it. I love it when people go, it's not straight facts, that's opinions. Exactly, you fucking idiots. That's not you, DJ. But no, the boys, I don't tell the boys what to say. Never will, never have. Otherwise, the shows will be crap. And this is what you've got to remember, DJ. I don't like saying these things, but DJ, look, let them say it. Hold on to it. Marinate it. And if they end up being wrong, when they're wrong at the end of it, it's going to be so satisfying. Let people say things. Sometimes people slag Man United off. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're not. And I get people DM me, go, why didn't you defend us? I'm not going to defend us all the time. Sometimes I just let people keep talking. And then I store it all. KJ clips it all. And then if they end up being wrong, we bring it out for fun. Sometimes in life, you don't need to react in that moment to everything.
Can I just say as well, yeah, like, I'm not being funny, right, bro? But like, what have we actually said that's so down on Chelsea, bro? Literally, we both said here, yeah, on this very show today, that you've got a chance of getting top 4. I said, I don't know if you will get top 4 because I think you need a goalkeeper and a striker, but there's a good chance you will get top 4. The only thing we've said today is that you won't win the league. So if that's controversial, yeah, or we're slagging Chelsea off there, then I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, I quite agree. I
just be like, Chelsea are going to win the league. Chelsea are going to win the Champions League. Not even in the Champions League. What do you want us to do?
We've said a lot worse about Chelsea than this stream, mate. Trust me, DJ. And listen, I love the super chats. I love the fact you're a loyal supporter. But look, I mean, this is the equivalent of me now falling out of LB because he thinks Odegaard's overrated. But I don't do it because we get on and I just disagree with him, right? That's what happens. So look, it's part of the show, man. They're going to say a lot of stuff that LB don't like, and the LB's going to say stuff that I don't like. It's what it is, man. It's difference of opinion. So
yeah, hold on to it. Hold on to it for later. Learn that you don't need to react all the time. Just hold on to things. Just relax a little bit. You don't need to. I said to United fan to DM me about it all the time. I was like, sometimes I just save it and I'll get them. There was a few seasons ago. I remember it was a live preview for the season we did with Lies, Bouvie, Lee Judges, and they were all talking about United coming 10th and being awful. We came 3rd. We won a trophy. I didn't respond and say nothing all season. And then right at the end of the campaign, I put a massive video out and cooked everybody. I just held on. I just kept my powder dry. It was fun. Sometimes you learn to do that. So every reputable source reported that INEOS is backing Ten Hag despite the results, but you refuse to believe it and push the narrative that he is sacked. This doesn't suit the narrative, I guess. Now, Johnny Sins, I love the name, by the way. So again, I am not disputing that these publications are speaking the truth as they've been told by Man United. Man United have told them they are backing the manager and standing by him. But I don't believe what the club is saying. There's a fundamental difference. So I'm not saying it's fake news, that the newspapers are fake news for me is the media are making up a story out of thin air that has no grounds. Man United phone up a newspaper and say, no, we're sticking by him. Then they're reporting the truth as they know it. If I tell Dan Potts that, I don't know, I've just bought a new car, and he says, oh, Terry bought a new car. If I'm lying, Dan Potts ain't responsible for that. I am. I lied. So I don't believe what Man United are quoting in the media, my friend. And if you believe that they're telling the truth, then you believe it. We don't need to argue about it. It's just a difference of opinion, my friend. This was earlier. It says, lucky Champions League beating Man City. Tuchel is a good manager, but I don't think he would go United. Anyone you get is better than 10 Eric the Eel. Eric the Eel. Do you boys know who Eric the Eel is? There was Eddie the Eagle, the English guy that did the ski jump. It was awful, right? And there's Eddie the Eel. It was an Olympics maybe 20 years ago. And he was the guy that could barely, he almost drowned trying to swim a race at the Olympics. And he was called Eddie the Eel. I don't know why they've said that, but that was a mad video. Like I don't even know how he got to the Olympics. No way he made the qualifying time, but he was there and he nearly drowned. Thankfully he didn't. How can Arsenal be in the title race with 29, but Chelsea can't with Jackson?
Oh, what are we doing here, man? Oh, what are we doing here? I'm being serious. Nah, man, this isn't funny, bro. This Chelsea fans funny, you know. Oh, dude. Come on, man. What are you doing, bro? You can't be saying stuff like this. Why, man? Where'd you finish last season, boys? Yeah, come on. Real talk now, yeah. Where you finished last season, boys? Yeah, you finished
6th.
You finished 6th, right, on 63 points. So you're telling me in one summer you can go from 63 points to over 90 points? It's not happening. Why can't you just be happy with top 4? You've not been in Champions League for time. When was the last time they was in Champions League? 2020, 2021 they finished. So this is 2021. Yeah, was the last season they qualified for Champions. So 2 years in a row they've not qualified for Champions League. Yeah, why can't they just be happy getting back in Champions League? Maybe win a domestic cup, man. Why do they have to send super chat saying they're going to win the league?
What's funny about that for me is that how can Arsenal be in a title race with Havertz, but Chelsea can't with Jackson? That's not what we've said. We've not said that you can't be in a title race because of Jackson. We've said that you need more in the rest of your team. We mentioned the goalkeeper. I still think defensively you've got to do work. I still think the midfield needs balance, and it's starting to look better than it was last year, but it still needs to do better for me. So it isn't just, we'll just put Jackson up top and go and win the league. Do you actually believe that you're going to put Jackson up front and go and win the league? It is absolutely mad for me.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Also, as well, which I think you're not taking into consideration, is that Arsenal have been in the title race for the last 2 campaigns. So there is proof in the pudding that this group of Arsenal players with this manager can maintain a title charge. At the moment, look, I think if Chelsea are in and around it points-wise come January, and they go out in January and maybe buy a world-class goalie or buy another attacker, there is the possibility they could be. So I'm not writing you off. But there's the idea that Arsenal won't be in the title race is really far-fetched because they've been in it the last 2 seasons. So I think you have to take that into consideration in my personal and humble.
I understand why they're
opinion.
desperate to get there. Don't get me wrong. Everyone's desperate to get there. And I understand that they want us to say, oh my God, but we've got to be realistic. And I think some of the Chelsea fans, they seem to think me and LB are going to go, do you know what? They've just beaten Brighton 4-2. I think it's time. I think it's time they're going to go win the league now. And we ain't going to do that because I need more evidence than beating Brighton, who, by the way, could have been 8 because of their high line. I thought that I'm not going to do that, man. So look, some of the Chelsea fans are a little bit extreme, and we've all got them. We've got them in our fan base. LB's got them in his fan base. But wow, the Chelsea fan base, they never cease to amaze me with how much praise and love they want. They're so desperate for it. I don't quite get why that is, but there we go.
What about 5th place? I mean, there is still a Champions League place for it. It depends on your club's coefficients that season. So if we have teams do well in Europe, so ironically for Chelsea, them winning the Conference League could get them the champion. They come 5th, but win the Conference League. It could help give us enough coefficient points for the 5th place team to get it. So we're almost at a point, it depends on what team you are, where you kind of want the other English teams to do well in Europe so that you get the points. Terry, where's the Ten Hag debate you and Mark Goldbridge were supposed to do? It got postponed last minute. I think it's happening at some point next week. So keep your eyes out for that because I'm going to challenge him. And I didn't call him out in a horrible way, but I've just said that I think you're wrong on the player element. And we're going to have a debate. We're going to have it out and I'm going to challenge him on some bits and pieces. And yeah, it should be a little bit of fun. Relax LB. Palmer is hearing his name from real fans' mouths, not speaking. Sorry, let me read that again. Relax LB. Palmer is hearing his name from real fans' mouths, not speaking. Does that make sense?
Speaking. He's saying that Chelsea are real fans that are supporting him, Man City are not. I think that's what he's saying.
Ah, okay.
Okay, sweet.
I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to your fake fans at your club, LB. Fake fans at your club. Our Arsenal going to get on tonight, LB?
Our Arsenal going to get on tonight?
Yeah.
I think Potsy's fan cam could go viral. No wins in 2 Champions League games. I think he's going to get cooked. I think Arsenal fans are going to be crying on the timeline. I think they're already looking at who the referee is and getting all the research done to get some blame on the referee. And it should be fun. Nah, but real, man, I'm actually looking forward to this. It's a shame that City on at the same time. I'm going to record the match and watch it back either tonight or tomorrow. Listen, it's a tough game. They could do it winning, really, because obviously they dropped points in the first match like we did, but we've got Bratislava away, so we should be winning that. You don't really want to go 2 games in a row with no wins. So I think to get a point, it's not the end of the world. That'll be 2 points out of 2, and they've got 6 games left and they'll have easier matches. But I think this is a test, man. I think Arsenal need to show people, that they can go toe-to-toe with these teams, because this is the Champions League, man. Like, obviously, they come to City last year, parked the bus. They parked the bus in the second half because they had 10 men. It's 11v11, right? You're at home, right? You're against PSG. Well, let's be honest, they're all right. Not one of the greatest teams in the world, but they're a decent side. Like, I want to see Arsenal take the game to PSG. I don't want to see none of this sitting on the edge of the box. I don't want to see none of this parking the bus. Yeah, you're at the Emirates. Yeah, this is what you built the Emirates for, is to compete with these sorts of teams. I want Arsenal to take them on. Because I think they need a test like this. They need a test like this, man. We all know Arsenal are a good team. We all know they can beat the lower league side. We know that they'll get some points off the top 6, right? It's these games now. They went to Bayern last year, worst Bayern side we've ever seen. Didn't do so well there, knocked out. Let's see them. I want to see them do well, man. I don't want them to win the Champions League, innit? But I like these games. So I just hope they take the game to them, man. I want Arsenal to get on the ball and be the more dominant side. At home, you shouldn't really be sitting there. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the game.
Yeah, look, I don't think we will sit back for this one. I hope we don't, because they're there for the taking. Dembele is out. as one of their better players. They've still got some quality.
I don't rate him, me. You rate Dembele, I don't rate him, me.
I mean, he's a good player. I think
another one that's overrated.
Potentially he's overrated, like they all are. But yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player. We'll leave it at that. They got a good midfield. Obviously, they got Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha. I think it's a quality player, and obviously they've got who have I missed? Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, and João Neves, who they've bought as well. So they've got some players that can cause problems, man. For sure, they're a good side. But I think that at home, Arsenal should be winning this game. I really do. I agree. I think that we do need to get a win now that we've drew to Atalanta. I understand that we've got 6 easier games after that, but we have got Inter Milan away in one of them, so I wouldn't say that's easy. So I think we need to win our home games in this Champions League format, and I think we will tonight. I think we will. We've got no excuses. We've got players back now fully in training. Calafiori in training. We've got Timber in training. Miko Marino back in training. Tomiyasu back in training. So we've actually only got Odegaard now who's out. Everybody else is fit. So there's no more complaints or worries about injuries with Arsenal. And I think what we've done to come out unscathed in the games that we have so far, we deserve credit for, and we've rightly got that credit. But now this is a nice run. Leicester, we've now got PSG, we've got Southampton at home, we've got Shakhtar Donetsk at home, Bournemouth away, and then Liverpool at home. So most of the games, are all at the Emirates. So we need to make it a fortress. We need to be enjoying these Champions League nights. And against PSG at home is one of the big games for sure. So I think we will win the game. I don't think it will be a comfortable 3 or 4, but I do think that we'll win the game. And I think that we'll get the 3 points. And if I'm honest, if we do sit back and we win 2-1 or 1-0, I won't be crying about it. Because if that's how we have to play in certain games to get
I won't be crying about it, man. But like, if you're having to sit back at home to PSG, then come on, man. We want to see you take them on, right? The Arsenal fans are telling us, that you're one of the best teams in Europe, and I think that's probably true. Like, you're at home to PSG, man. You're not playing Real Madrid here. Like, come on, man. Take the game to them. Be the dominant team, man. You're not little Arsenal anymore. You know what I mean? You're Arsenal who 2 years in a row got very close to winning the Prem. Yeah, you got a good team. Yeah, you got a manager who can set up the team to be solid at the back. You got a cracking defense, one of the best defenses in Europe. You don't need to sit back on the edge of the box. Why? Because the thing is, right, if you've got the best defense in Europe, but then you're having to sit back on the edge of the box, then it kind of like, well, of course you're going to have a good defensive. I want to see Arsenal go for it, man. I want to see Arsenal take the game to PSG, test this defense in a bit more of an exposed fashion. You're at home. I won't be saying this if you was going away, but you're at home. You need to go for this game, man. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I want to see how Arsenal start. I want to see how Arsenal actually approach this. They've got to take the game to PSG.
I think we will. I don't think that I think the reason we did sit back and play the way that we did was because the fixtures that we had one after the other. Atalanta away wasn't easy. City at home wasn't easy. City away wasn't easy. Tottenham away wasn't easy. Villa away wasn't easy. And everybody come out of that thinking, how the hell have Arsenal got away with this? I thought they were going to lose at least 2 of those. And we didn't. And I think it's, for some reason, got on people's nerves. I think people like to see Arsenal lose, don't they? And then when we don't, they're like, oh, well, let's just have a dig at how they played then. I don't care how we played. We got away. We got out of it. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, we got out of it. If it wins us the league, I don't give a damn. I grew up on George Graham winning stuff that way. Diego Simeone's done it and won stuff. Jose Mourinho's done it and won stuff. So, look, if it wins us stuff, great. If we're playing like it to try and get us into a title race and we don't, then we can look at it in another discussion and say, should we have really done that? Was there a way we could have actually convinced us a little bit more? I think against PSG, we will go out for it tonight. I really do. And I think that we'll beat them. I think we're the better side.
I think you'll beat them.
Yeah. And I think we'll prove why we're the better side. I think we'll beat them. That's what I'm going for. I do want to see Ethan Nwaneri tonight because I think he deserves
throw him in, man. That's what I think. Throw him in. He needs to needs to play, mate.
Yeah, he's been really good, man. He's been really good. And obviously he played against Bolton and was head and shoulders above. He came on against Leicester, lit the place up. Let's see what he's like. I don't think he'll start tonight. I don't think Arteta will start him. I personally would like to see him start, but I think that he'll probably go with Trossard again. I think it'll be the best team that he's going with. But I think with Ethan Nwaneri, you're going to see a player that I think comes onto the scene a lot quicker than people thought. And I thought, now that we didn't replace Smith Rowe and Vieira together, I think Arteta and Edu have clearly thought that Nwaneri's good enough and he's better than what Vieira was. And I think already he's showing that. So, yeah, man, it'd be nice to see him get some minutes tonight. It would.
Yeah, I hear that. Obviously, your game is almost a formality tonight, LB. But I wanted to ask you about another side of City. Three draws in the last 4 games. There's now a war between you and Arsenal. How are you sort of feeling about your season? See, Rodri goes out, you drop more points. There seems to be, for the first time in a while, a bit of criticism against City. Do you think this has just been a bad couple of weeks and you guys are going to be all right? Or are you getting a feeling like some of these recent results may continue for a while longer?
Nah, I think you got to look at what we've faced with. Yeah, like we played Inter Milan, one of the greatest teams in Europe right now. Yeah, mint team. Yeah, drew against 0-0. Yeah, unlucky on the night. We missed some glaring opportunities. Gundogan missed 2 sitters. Arsenal game was just a crazy game. Crazy game. I ain't seen a game like that in a long time. Yeah, we go 1-0 up. We're dominating the game. Rodri does his ACL. We concede an unbelievable finish. We're rattled. Second half, we're against 10 men. We can't break him down, right? We get the late goal. Credit there. Watford beat them in the cup, whatever. Newcastle away, 1-1 at Newcastle. I think most teams will take a point at Newcastle. That's not a worst point in the world. And again, we missed chances. So now I think I'm pretty chill, to be honest with you. I still think that we need more. I think we need to sign a player or 2 in January because I think the squad's too small. Now that we've lost Alvarez, we didn't replace him. We've now lost Rodri. Obviously, we need to replace him. So I think we need a player or 2. Don't have to be. I'm not talking like mad players. I'm just talking like squad fillers, squad rotation players. I'm not talking like first teamers here. But yeah, I'm still confident, man. I'm still confident. We're unbeaten. Yeah, tonight, like you say, should be a formality. I think Celtic scored 5 past these guys, so we should be getting the job done. We've got Fulham at the week. Fulham actually pretty decent. I like Fulham under Silva. I think he's a top class manager. It could be trickier than maybe.
Are you away or home? Away or home?
We're at home at the weekend. Yeah. At the weekend we're at home, so we should get the job done there. And if we win today, we win tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be going into the international break at least second, unbeaten, and 4 points out of 6 in the Champions League and in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. So I don't think it's that bad of a start. It's just unfortunately we've had a few bad injuries. So yeah, I'm pretty chill.
How do you think Pep will deal with this Rodri thing in his absence? I know you said potentially buy someone in January, but until then, are you going to use Stones? Are you going to use Kovacic and Bernardo? Kovacic and Gundogan?
It'll be probably Kovacic. I reckon Kovacic. And I think that'd be fine. We just need to get to January. See where we're at in January. Yeah, and then just deal with it in January. That's where I'm at. So yeah, just get to January within 5 to 6 points of whoever's top of the league. Said this the same thing last year with De Bruyne. Say it the same thing now. I don't need to be top of the league on January the 1st. You don't win nothing in January the 1st. Just get me within like 5 to 6 points of whoever's top. Yeah, and then if we need to act in the transfer window, we can do. But yeah, I think I'm chill, man. I'm chill.
Yeah, I don't think it's time for City to panic. It's great when you drop. Honestly, I like it when you drop points. 1, I don't want you to do the 5p. And 2, I think it's better for the Premier League and the title race if City have a few bumps in the road because it makes it more exciting, especially with Villa doing so well, Chelsea on the up and up as well. You've suddenly got like 4 or 5 teams that are all looking really, really good, and it's exciting. But you'll win these next 2 games, in my opinion. You'll put 4 or 5 past these guys tonight. You'll beat Fulham at home by 2 or 3 clear goals, and as you say, you'll go into that international break really relaxed. Players get a little bit of a rest, and you'll come back all guns blazing. The idea, I've seen some people at the weekend to, maybe this is the end of City. Fuck off. I'd like that to be true as a United fan, but it isn't, is it? City are going to be there until the final day of the season. There's absolutely no doubt about it whatsoever. Don's here in the comment section. Don said, LB likes to ignore the fact that we conceded over 60 goals. We conceded over 60 goals. We scored over 70 goals last year. It's our defense which needs tightening up.
Sound. All right, you win the league then, Don. Yeah, nice one, bro. Nice one. Big up, bro. Congratulations. Premier League winners. Chelsea, 2024, 2025. I'm happy for you, bro. I'm happy for you. Now, for real, man. I'll be serious with you now. Big up Maresca winning the Premier League in his first year. I mean, what are we doing here? What is wrong with these Chelsea fans? I said you might get top 4. I said you're going to finish 5th or 4th. What's wrong with that? Why you have to come in with all this smoke, man? For what? What have we done here?
Did you guys hear what he said last night on the Top 6 show?
Nah, go on.
No, go on.
That only 3 players, and even one of them he's on the turn with. So only 2 players guaranteed from Arsenal getting to the Chelsea team, and that was Saliba and Saka. He said that Gabriel's better than Colwell, but he believes that Colwell and Saliba as a partnership would be better.
Huh? Colwell and Saliba is a better partnership than Gabriel and Saliba?
Yeah, because of Colwell's ability on the ball. So
we'll
essentially,
go with what he thinks, as opposed to what he's actually seen for the last 2 years, which has been quite clearly the best partnership in Premier League this season. Like, look, I love Don. As Don knows, I love him, and I do love him, and we're very close. But my goodness, that one's a madness. 2 players. Look, they've got some good players, Chelsea. They have. But again, we're talking about what they do need to go and win the Premier League. And in my opinion, look, I think Fofana and Colwill formed a good partnership. Maybe it can go and do something this season. But I personally believe they need to upgrade in the defensive area. And so does Don, because Don said we need to improve our defense.
So what's Don saying here, then? Is Don saying they're going to win the league?
Well, what Don went on to say, I had to use the expose emoji a few times on him, meme, sorry, but he eventually said that he does think that they can finish above Arsenal this season.
So they're not going to win the league?
He didn't say that. He kind of, he does. He sort of does
I just don't get it, because like me and Popsy are saying, you can finish top 4, maybe 5th. And then they're saying that they're going to finish in a title race, but not win the league, which is top 4. So what are we arguing about? Why are they getting so triggered?
The thing is as well, if you finish above Arsenal this season, you're almost guaranteed to be in a title race, and you're almost guaranteed to be close to winning the league, right? So listen, I love Don as well. Don is one of the best talkers I've ever come across in this industry. Being able to say loads of things, but you can't quite pin him down to exactly what he said. If that makes sense.
They just want to clash with anyone. Like, even people who say, "Oh yeah, you're going to finish 4th or maybe 5th, lads. Like, you'll be 4th, 4th." They still just want to clash with you. They want to clash with you. Like, no matter what you say, you can be positive, they'll clash with you. You can be negative, they want to clash with you. Like, honestly, man, like today we've actually been so positive about Chelsea, and we're still clashing us.
This is the most positive I've ever been about Chelsea, and we're still getting it in the neck. What's happening here?
Yeah, I am. Hello, mate. You're home from school. Sorry, the little one come in. You're back home from school. Hello. You all right?
Ask him what he thinks of Chelsea, man.
What do you think of
Chelsea?
What do you think of Chelsea? Well, he's all gone shy. Oh, my daughter's not shy though.
Hello.
Oh, did you find your teddy bear? I hid it again. I hid it. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Right.
What do you think of Chelsea?
What do you think of Chelsea?
No,
that's enough.
Oh, that's 50 quid in super chats on the way.
okay. They're rubbish, aren't they?
Yeah. Love it.
All right, off your pop. I'll be out soon. All right.
Now we're going to get super chats galore now. You're all hating on us.
Take the dog with you, please.
I'll pay for a holiday to the Maldives. Like, we're all going on holiday, man.
DJ here said LB has hammered us all summer. All respect, Terry. As a Chelsea fan, I've been fighting for my life. So I'm just happy to be back in respect. It's funny, DJ, you say that, because Ches has been like that. Ches has been on stream for about 9 months on the terrace, being rude to people, face always screwed up. And I was like, where's lovely Ches gone? And it must just be his team there. 115 shame. City's legacy will be destroyed.
Is that an Arsenal fan? You have no legacy. So chill.
Oh, that's a bit harsh. Oh, that's a bit harsh.
I'm rattled, boys. They fucking rattled me. These Chelsea fans are rattled me.
LB, the only player overrated is Foden, one of those who only worked in Pep's system. For England, Jude, Saka, and Palmer much better. Common ground for comparison.
Calma. I need to stay calm, man. These Chelsea fans have got me rattled. Yeah, Ricky, can't respond to it, mate. Yeah, because I'll say some not nice things. Yeah, next one.
Football needs passion, and Ten Hag is kryptonite. Get out. Yeah, I hear that. I hear you. According to Who Scored, Saliba has 100% tackle succession rate this season, attempting over 20 tackles. For me, he is our most important player, more so than Saka, is what Dial Square says.
Yeah, I actually said this as well. I agree with Dial Square. I actually said that Saliba's our most important player. Kid's absolutely phenomenal, man. It's ridiculous how good he is in his position and for his age. And I think the stats were saying he's still not been dribbled past this season. Obviously, the stats there in terms of his tackle success. The guy's a top talent, man. And for his age, I don't remember any of the Arsenal greats in that position being that good at this age. And that's got to be exciting for us, man. So, yeah, I hope we keep him for a long time. I I said on my show that I think he will end up at Real Madrid one day. I just hope it ain't very soon, man. We've got to win trophies and keep him happy because he is a talent, mate.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's almost as good as Lenny Yoro. Like he's almost.
Is that sort of level, isn't he?
In and around that, like give him a few years to develop. No, he's absolute class. He really is. Sorry, I read a comment that threw me. I didn't really understand it. Something. Well, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Don, why is Freya talking shit? Can you imagine Don there sitting there fuming? No, Freya just. Obviously, I told her what to say. She has no idea about football. Like everyone relax.
That's brilliant.
Someone said, Terry, you're bringing up good kids. They didn't swear. Yeah, because they get a beat down if they were swearing. Like as simple as that. It's not hard to make your kids not swear. It's got to punish them. There we go. Boys, I want to thank you both for coming on as ever. I know, Dan, you got to shoot off to London to watch Arsenal tonight. This video is going to take you through to Hassam's channel. So go over there and support the guy. We're back later on tonight, of course, with the match reactions for the Champions League games. So hit the like button before you leave. Please make sure you're subscribing as well. I want to thank each and every single one of you for coming on to the show today, for tuning in and everything. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.